Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Connection to Spirit. I hope that you are having a great day. And I'd like to introduce you and welcome my guests, SunPsychic Jean
Hi, everybody.
and Terri Suzuki.
Hey,
We are going to just give a little time for people to come in. And please, but if you're here, please say hello in the comments and post your questions in all caps. We're looking forward to doing readings for everybody for personal readings. But Terri was just telling us a fascinating story about something that came up at a class that you were teaching at an event this weekend. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, about the pendulum class?
sure, sure. I use a pendulum, like I think both of you do, and I decided going to my metaphysical and wellness fairs that I would branch out and teach a pendulum class. Well, it was the hottest day in the Seattle area, and so not many people showed up, just three. But the fun thing is one of the people at the class already had a pendulum, was already using it, and I love to learn new things. Even if I'm the one teaching and supposed to be the one with all the knowledge, I have lots of room to learn still. So she was telling us that the only thing she does with her pendulum is she uses her pendulum to talk to her mother on the other side. So she can only ask her mother yes and no questions, but she gets along pretty easily using the pendulum to do that. And she told us that one time she was having a conversation with her mother, and suddenly the pen, I'm making it do it this. It just went everywhere. It's just around and vibrating and just all over the place. And she suddenly was puzzled. Had never done that before. And she's like, and suddenly a thought popped into her head, and she said, "Mom, are you laughing?" And the pendulum stopped dead and then just went, "Yes." I could not. That is just amazing to me that the mom was able to put her some of her emotions through the pendulum. So, and it was just, I think, amazing that the daughter was able to think of that. Yeah,
Cool. I have never heard that before. I think that's just wonderful.
I never have either. I think that's an amazing way to use a pendulum. I never thought of it myself that you might do that to talk to somebody on the other side.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting mine out after this. But Amanda Carroll, thank you for being here, and Davy Jones and Edward Kenneth, Jen B. and Thelma. Let's see who else is all here. Kara Davis. I'm getting all of, if you've put your questions in all caps, I'm getting them starred. Mangled Unicorn. Yeah, just please do put your questions in and we will get going in a little bit. But Jean, tell us a little bit, if you would like, about what you were explaining to us over the weekend that you got to meet in person some of our online friends. And you can choose to use names or not, whatever you like.
No, I will. I will. Linda Kennedy invited us for a spiritual retreat to her home, and she's about an hour away from me. And so she has come to see me at the psychic fairs, and so she was telling me where she was living, and I might have to sneeze. Hang on one second. You know how it's almost there, but it doesn't come, and and then so she invited us to go, and Akila is in my area. She's maybe like 10 or 15 minutes away from me. And we were both invited. And I said, "Do you want to go with me?" And she said, "Sure." So I met Akila at one of those park and rides, like halfway between. We met, and then we drove off to Linda's house, and we met Rush, and Linda was there, and we went and I brought my dowsing rods, and we were practicing with our dowsing rods because I'm not very good at it, and I wanted to find out. And then Linda had her dowsing rods, and hers are really neat. They have like a little ball on the end of them, so it's sort of like more balanced, and they're a little shorter, so they were easier to handle. So we were just like trying to practice a little bit with each other. And then we got hungry. So we all stopped and went into the kitchen to have some refreshments. She had a beautiful lunch for us all. And it was so much fun. And then in the middle of our lunch, she had all of her crystals, all of her Palo Santo, all of her sage, and all of her, just different beautiful display of metaphysical and spiritual, cloth and a tray, and just really beautifully displayed. And we just laughed. We had fun. We went outside. We saw the pool. We saw her grounds. And she showed me, well, this is where I did this. And this over here is where, but it was lots of fun. And it was just like we've known each other forever. It was so beautiful just sharing stories and spending time together. It's a lovely afternoon. And, there is something to be said for, connecting in person. It really, it's a beautiful memory. But yeah, so Rush and Linda Kennedy were on the last show I was on with Kelly from Cali Healer. We were doing crystals, and they were both in the chat, and I was telling them, and they're like, we're here. I'm like, oh, they're here.
How fun. Oh, cool. I just love that because so many of us got together kind of during or after the pandemic, and it was all online. And now that, online friends have become in-person friends, and sometimes in some instances too. So cool.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. I see Leona and Gina M. Leona can't wait until Jean visits Las Vegas.
That's an invitation.
Yep, there you go. But there are not a lot of folks here. So if you want to put a question in, now would be a great time. But let's get going if you don't mind.
Okay.
And let's start with, I haven't even read these questions. Davy Jones would love a message from his spirit guides on what's happening for the next some weeks. So something kind of general here. Okay. And this might be a little bit of and you're here. Great, Davy. Thank you. A little bit of a rocky ride because I haven't done this very much lately.
I'm picking up on like a work day, a work week, some work, and I almost see like a home repairs kind of work. Like you would have overalls on and do some painting, or maybe a hat on and doing some electrical work, or I just see some maybe home repairs, or um, I just see a man working in a work outfit. So I do see that you're working hard on something, and I also see you interested. And I don't know if they're now showing me your past life, but I'm seeing you with buffalo out on the prairie or the wide open range. So I think you have a balance between work and nature, work and rest, work life balance. And I do feel as though you sometimes feel secluded when you're working so much. And but when you're out in nature, I do feel as though all of your friends, and you feel, even though you might be walking or hiking by yourself, you have nature that responds to you, that sort of interacts with you and plays with you and guides you and teaches you along the way. Whereas I think work, you feel a little secluded. So I'm not sure if that means anything to you, Davy Jones, but that's what I'm picking up.
That's kind of what I'm getting, something very much like that September is a time of getting ready for winter, making sure everything's ready for that, whatever little housing things you have to do. But I also see they're also showing me like garden produce and stuff like that's also a good month for eating well, eating the fresh produce and interacting with that. Or if you have a garden, when you bring that in, it's just going to be a wonderful time. You're going to feel very fulfilled. I also, when I'm just kind of looking at the time and just trying to feel into it, I get this feeling of real satisfaction. There's something about this next month that's going to bring real deep satisfaction. And I really do feel it's more like your spiritual life, your spiritual abilities, or your ability to interact with and channel the other side. It feels like that this is brings you real satisfaction right now. That I would even hazard to say maybe there's a little bit of a breakthrough here. That something that you've been trying to do and have not quite been able to do it. So, okay. I do see you say you've been health conscious lately. Well, maybe that's where the satisfaction is, that you're able to kind of maybe make a new habit that you've been wanting to. And yeah.
Wonderful. Davy, when I tuned in, the very first thing I got was my throat chakra lit up. And it was kind of, in a way, kind of suggestive to me that you need to speak up about something that you've kind of been holding back on. And maybe that's in a work situation or a personal situation, but it's like you don't really want to say anything, but you kind of have to. And then I drew cards and I got the 5 of Wands, which is sort of like, okay, there's new growth coming. There's a little kind of a conflict, but you have to say something. And once you do, bluebird of happiness coming your way. And then as I think both of you were saying, I got the Archangel Ariel who says, connect with nature. So it kind of syncs up with what both Jean and Terry were saying. So I know it's hard, and I have that trouble too, to kind of find your voice when it's something difficult to say. But in the long run, I think it'll be a good move for you. So I hope that was helpful. Let's see. I forgot to call a number of people. Next up, if Nancy Smith, Thelma Truitt, and Kara Davis, let us know if you're still here. Let's see. And I'm just continuing to, oh yeah, and Davey said he's been health conscious lately.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, Nancy says she's here. Here we go. Nancy says, why do I keep dreaming of my family who have passed? We are all in a kitchen talking and laughing. My sister comes in and talks to us and then leaves. I stay and we all continue to talk. Okay.
Nancy, do I know you? Or did you? Because Nancy Smith doesn't sound familiar to me, but I'm not sure if you changed your name.
I know Nancy Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that if you can just take it with a grain of salt, you weren't dreaming. That was real.
I was going to say the same thing. Not dreaming.
You were not dreaming. You're in the astral realm and you're remembering it. And that truly, really did happen on an energetic, different realm, different frequency, different altered state of consciousness. It's real. But you say you keep dreaming. I'll keep digging, but that's the first thing that I felt. So I don't know if either one of you want to go ahead, but that's what I didn't. Yeah, I have. Oh, you've had a reading with me, so I do know you. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You're saying I was there? No, just your family. My sister too. Wow. I'll keep digging. Go ahead, ladies.
I'll go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I right away the same thing as Jean said. This was not an actual dream. It's like a visitation. It's like when I have clairvoyance, so I'm seeing like a little bit. It's really like they're doing clairvoyance with you, but they need you to be a little more relaxed. So they're doing it with you in the sleep. And this has happened before. So it really kind of sounds like your family's in a way kind of having like a business meeting. And I think you guys have some unfinished business to discuss. I do feel like when you're talking about the sister, I get a real impression that maybe sister is potentially going in and out she's either going out to help somebody or she's getting ready to potentially, go through the cycle again. And so I feel that. I just want to tell a little story real quick about my brother had this same dream. He dreamed that the whole family was in a big room and they were sitting there and they were talking and all the ones that had passed away was there. He didn't feel like he was actually there, but he was there listening. He was part of it. And there was one lady in our family that was a real pill, just really disliked by the family. She had a serious illness. It made her really mean, and and yet I definitely liked her. She to me she showed a lot of spunk rather than necessarily meanness. And he said, Terry, I was so excited because she spoke up. And she said, I thought that I would be Jolene this time around because nobody picked her. Everybody didn't like her and didn't want to play that character. So I thought I'd give her a try. And it hit me so hard when he said that because it would be just like her, just like Jolene to say, I'm gonna be Jolene. I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna be as upset and as naughty as I can. you know? But we could as he even talked, I could see how lovely she was. So really enjoy this dream, especially if you get to do it a few more times. Really listen for what they say.
And Nancy says that's interesting. Um, Nancy, when I tuned in, let's see, what was I getting? Oh, about the dream. I got the image that your sister, I saw her sitting on the banks of a pond and she puts her toes in and then she brings them out. And then so she kind of goes in and out. She's not on the same vibe as the rest of the family. She can join you for a while, but she can't just jump in and let this happen. It's not like she's a bad person or isn't, developed or something like that, but she's just not quite ready. So she joins as much as she can, but then she has to leave. So that's what I got about that. But then I pulled the owl. Your intuition is correct. Your inner wisdom. Trust your inner wisdom without fail. And then I got the archangel of virtue, who just says, "Open your heart." And I'm sure you're opening your heart to the family on the other side, as well as those who are still here. But that's really beautiful. And I love that you say that you have them on almost every night. That's really cool.
Cool.
So,
Go ahead.
Nancy, is your sister still here in this world? Is that why you were saying that she was there? Because is your sister crossed over, or is she still here in this world? Only
I think
because
I think she's still here.
yeah,
Mm.
and that's okay. Yeah. So Preston Dennett is a really good astral traveler, and he talks about this, and he said that he goes and visits his parents, and he has this dream every night, and he knows that he's astral traveling, and he remembers it, and it's like it's real. And then one time he saw his brother, and he's like, Dan, you're here. You can see mom and dad. He goes, yeah, I can see mom and dad. He's like, you can see me? Yeah, I can see you. He's like, oh my gosh. And they all sat around and they all talked with mom and dad. And he couldn't wait to wake up the next morning. And he called his brother and he goes, wasn't that great? And the brother's like, wasn't what great? Well, visiting mom and dad. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, in your dream last night. I didn't dream that. The brother had no recollection. But when he was in, I'm getting chills head to toe, Nancy. Oh my gosh. And this is what we mean by the veil is thinning, you guys. All
Yeah.
of this stuff is happening because of the heightened emotional state and pressure in the world. This is all the spiritual expansion is also happening simultaneously. But thank you very much, Nancy, for sharing that with us. That
Yeah,
was profound.
that was really fun. Thank you. And next up is Thelma. Thank you for letting us know that you're here. Hi there, hoping to have a reading. Please, anything will suffice. So just let's do a general reading for Thelma Truitt. What is it
Hi,
that
Thelma. It's so nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you. I know. I feel a big sigh. I feel a big sigh, and you're in the right place, and you're making all the right decisions. Is what they want you to know. There's certain things, unfortunately, that we all have to witness, and it's it's hard to keep balance with our um, juggling our emotions and our trying to go through the motions while having these emotions and dealing with you know uh, atrocities. It's maddening, but they want you to know that you're doing all the right things, you're in the right place, and you're making all the right decisions. There's nothing that you should be doing or shouldn't be doing. That whatever it is, and you're following your instincts, you're following your guidance, but you also have that feeling of wanting to do more. And they say not quite yet, and they say that in the future, when, I don't know, it's all revealed, and the all of the uh, disclosure for ETs, or the all the facades are come down and people are searching for guidance. They're going to need all of us, and you're one of us, and you're an empath, you're a light worker, and you are extremely intuitive, and you know all that. But they just want you to know that it's okay that you feel like you should be doing something else, but you're following your instincts, you're doing what you need to do, and the best thing we can do is take care of ourselves and stay connected and bring that heaven on earth. And that's what you're doing. So that's what I have for you, Thelma. All the best to you.
Wow. Thelma, that was great, uh, Jean. Thelma, I got something very, very similar. So they first kind of showed me you walking along, but the background, it's like you were walking out in nature, but not just any kind of nature. So it looked as if that the background that they painted around you was made of crystals completely. It was like a mountain scene, like a little bit of dark crystals, and then this white layer, and then this deep pink layer that you're kind of walking on, but they were layered in such a way it was making some sort of landscapes theme. And you are walking in the center of it. And you have this big black hat on, you're dressed very well, and you're like walking, kind of strutting, kind of, and just like the lady of the world, just walking so nicely and so confidently, and like you're having such a good time. And they say, enjoy the balance, enjoy the rest, just stay on the path and don't worry. They were very, very much about you are doing just fine. You're just fine. Just enjoy the fact that there is nothing required of you right now. Believe me, that would be so cool. That you spiritually are just on the right path, You're doing all the right things. You're I can see that you're trying to work all the little levers of spirituality that you know, but you don't have to work very hard right now. Just enjoy. They just want you to enjoy it for a little while. Just it feels like you're just storing up. Um, I know they don't have banks like bank credit or something. You're storing up credit for later on when maybe you need a little bit more oomph. So that's what you get.
Cool. And she said, oh, yes, I've been to the Crystal Palace.
Oh,
Cool. Let's see. Thelma, when I tuned in, the first thing I saw was a bouquet of tulips. They were red and pink and yellow, and they were closed. They were closed up, like and they're wrapped in kind of a white doily, and they were put on your door. So it's like this promise of sweet, like a sweet season to come, like a continuing of unfolding and this new season of growth. And even though we're kind of at the end of summer, moving into fall, for you, it's like you're moving into the spring, a new season, growth, sweetness, kind of delight. So that's all good. And then when I got cards, I got the Queen of Swords, which I love because it's all about the intellect and using your head and truth and all of that. But it's also, there's the little angel and the butterfly and the transformational side of things too. And then I got the peacock feather, which is always beautiful. Inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for regrowth. So it's this whole new season of growth coming up for you. But in the middle of it all, I got the Archangel Raphael who says, don't get too carried away. Prioritize your health. Even though you're focusing on the spiritual things, be sure to take care of the meat suit too, as long as you're here. But thank you. That was a really fun one. And let's see, who did I say next? And Kara Davis. Let's see if I can find your question. Here we go. Anything I should know before I visit New Zealand? Oh, and before we read Kara, let's see, let's try Lisa P73. I have to write these down or else I get P73 and just visiting. Oh, and let's do Nouveau. If you three could let us know that you are here, that would be great. But right now, we're going to go to Kara Davis, and thank you for letting us know. All right. Anything she should know before visiting New Zealand?
I just heard leave all your worries behind. When you get into the car to go to the airport, you're on vacation, and that there's typically like a decompression type of a phase, and then the joy comes, and then then the return. But they want you to start your vacation as soon as you walk outside your door and leave all of your worries behind. And really, they just want you to work to focus on that joy, focus on the learning and experiencing and the wonderment of finding new things, new energies. I do feel as though they're going into their warmer months coming up. I don't know what time you're going to be going there, but I think it's a really good time. It's that equinox. Yeah. Are you going to be watching the eclipse in September? What did she say?
No, I was just reacting to that
Oh,
that you put that together. That would be really
That would be
cool.
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. hmm Yep, that's what I have.
Okay.
And
Well, Kara, when even when I saw your question before it was chosen, for some reason, immediately warriors doing the haka came to my mind right away, and they have not gone away. They're still there, and I have been sitting with them trying to think, what does this mean for you? And really, what they want you to do is come visit with a warrior spirit. Come visit fearlessly. Just go there and don't have any fear of what you're going to do. You're going to go there and you're going to have a wonderful experience. You're going to get to experience the culture, the nature, all the wonderful things. And they want you to not be fearful in any way because your guides are going with you. They're going to be helping you. They're going to be protecting you. You're perfectly protected. um, Let that warrior spirit, that warrior that's not afraid, those warriors that stare down fear and try to make it scared. With they change their faces and do lots of things. You're saying, go fearlessly into this. Yes, that's what I got.
Beautiful. Um, Kara, and Kara said she wasn't aware that the eclipse is
the
coming up.
eclipse.
Oh,
Check it out. It would be so cool to see that or to be there when that happens.
yeah.
But when I tuned in, right away, I got this memory of when I was a little girl. If we were ever driving to the airport, which was like an hour away, there was a long, long, long bridge they had to cross to go over the Mississippi River. And I don't know how it started, but it was just everybody kind of did this when we were kids. Going over the bridge, you'd hold your breath and keep your feet up off the ground of the car, and that was supposed to be good luck as you went over the bridge and went to the airport or wherever you were going. So I saw you in the airplane, and right away your feet were up, like you were anticipating this cool time, and that's good luck for you. So I know it's a really long flight, so you don't have to keep your feet off the ground for the entire time that you're flying, but just whether it's that ritual or some other ritual when you're taking off, to just bless yourself and give yourself good luck on this flight. But then after that, what came to me was the fact that there are two places when people tell me about their travels. I have never heard of anyone who has had a bad time either in New Zealand or in Greece. Other people, it's kind of, oh yeah, it was great. Oh no, it was horrible or whatever. But at least those are the that's the only feedback on those two countries I've ever heard. So I was reminded of that, and also of the like, this is a real pivotal trip for you, and to just really, really take it all in, and like your mind is a camera. When you see something beautiful or meaningful, tell yourself, I'm going to remember this. Just say, remember this, and just let it burn into your memory so that you'll be able to go back to those memories and into that vision in your mind when you're 100 years old, and it'll be as vivid for you then as it was the day you saw it. And I drew cards for you and got the Six of Cups, which is about that lovely kind of childlike innocence and exploration and love. And also the Flicker, who is saying new rhythms are coming to you, and you're encouraged to trust and adapt, that things are going to go just fine, and just trust and adapt, and know that this is the balance symbol. So, you can feel a little off balance when you're traveling and it looks like it's over water and everything, but just try and breathe deep and stay in balance and allow yourself to take in all the wonders of the world that you're going to see. So thank you. We wish you the very best, and bon voyage.
Cool. And
Yeah.
I popped in there that the solar eclipse is visible on September 21st from New Zealand, but there's a lunar eclipse on the 7th. That would be 2 weeks before, and that's all during the equinox, around the equinox.
Okay. Nouveau, did you let us know that you're still? Yes, she's still here. Wonderful. And she lost her mother's wedding rings. Where do we have any advice on where Nouveau's mother's wedding rings are?
Do you mind if I do mine out loud?
Sure.
So I just asked, are they in the house? And I got, yes, they're in the house. So that's good. Does somebody else have them? No, somebody else does not have them. Are they where Nouveau originally keeps them? No, they're not where you originally keep them. Are they where Nouveau left them? Yes, they're where you left them. That's not a good sign. But they're where you left them, but it's not where you usually keep them. Will Nouveau eventually find the rings? Yes, and I feel like your mom has a hand, or somebody is almost leading you to something, or that is like they're making them so that you can't see them when you go. Like you go and you check something and you don't see it, and then you walk away and you check something else, and then you come back and you check that exact same spot, and they're there. It's almost like some not trickery, but I don't know, just something for you to have an experience. Are the rings safe? I get that they're safe. And will they eventually be found? Will they be found by the end of 2025? It looks like you're going to find them soon because it said yes. And sometimes when things are lost, it's a couple of years. I'll let you ladies pick up after that. That's as much as, oh, she said, I forgot the safe place.
Ah, well, I'll put mine in anyway, just in
Sure.
case. I hope it's in the safe place. But what I got was there's someplace high, like you were looking at them and you were called away suddenly, and you thought, "Oh, I don't want to put these where somebody's going to see them and potentially take them or move them," and so you put it up high. Now I'm short, so I am famous for doing that, and I am famous for hiding it from myself because I can't see it again. So so I just feel like a cabinet that is high up a little bit above your head, maybe on the very top. So
And I got that they're in the pocket of something that you don't wear very often, like an apron. They showed me an apron that sometimes I wear and has big pockets in the front. And it's not something that I wear very often. And then they also told me they're going to come back to you. This is kind of a not a test, but an encouragement to be in touch with your mom and say, Mom, help me find these, and sit down and calmly ask for her input on it, and then just let it go. And I get the idea that it might come back. They might come back to you on a significant date, your birthday, her anniversary, or something like that. One of the grandkids, if there are grandkids, the date that you're going to find them on is going to be significant. So again, live in anticipation, kind of like, oh boy, birthday present's coming up, or something like that. Live in anticipation of the time that you're going to find them, whether it's a short or a long time, and they're going to come back to you. That was a fun one. Thank you, Nouveau.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
Lisa
next,
and Just Visiting both say that they're here.
fabulous.
okay.
Okay, next is Lisa. Oh, does my brain fog get in the way of communicating with my guides and family on the other side?
It does take focus, and it is hard to focus when you have brain fog. I would work on the brain fog seems to be a little bit of a dietary component. um, and or hormonal, which is, dietary affects the hormonal. I don't know if you're eating milk, but or I don't mean I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if you stay away from dairy, sometimes that helps. And then there's like other contributing factors, like sugar and wheat, and all the high, and it's sort of like that inflammation. But it does take a certain amount of focus. Where if you're fatigued because of the brain fog, you have to work extra hard. It won't stop you. And if they need to contact you, they can contact you. You will have synchronicities, but if you want to focus and have like a little bit more of a meditative type of an experience, I think it's a little harder to focus and to, for that concentration because you're already fatigued. But it won't stop you, and you'll still get feelings and like signs and synchronicities, but your connection of experiencing energetically might be a little more difficult. Won't stop it. So I hope that makes sense.
And Lisa says her brain fog is due to MS. So,
MS, yeah. I got that part. So they're showing me very, very much the same, that it's not just, so the MS brain fog is a little bit of something for you to get over. It is making it a little bit more difficult, but also they're showing me you getting out of your body is hard. Being in the body with MS, it's going to be a little harder to ignore aches and pains or ignore things that, that you don't want happening. But they're saying that you can also use this brain fog to move ahead. And so, the thing is that if you have a little bit of brain fog, you also can use it to kind of get into the vibration. Somebody told me about like being on an airplane, there's that constant noise the whole time, but it allows them to find their vibration within it. So you might be able to do that. But one of the things they showed me right away is you probably should get some crystals when you're meditating to clear up some of the brain fog. And in fact, I know I'm already holding it, but selenite, I love selenite. I'm not very responsive to crystals, but selenite really clears me up. It really helps me think clearly. And so I almost always have a piece of selenite when I'm reading. So I would get a piece of selenite and I would hang on to it, or however, maybe your hands don't want to work like that. Just tuck it in your bra or something, and just use that to help you get a little clearer. Because even as they were showing me the fog started to have the little striations of the selenite. So you can kind of use selenite to clear that up a little bit. All the best to you.
Yes, Lisa. And when I was tuning in, I was getting something sort of similar to what the ladies were saying. And one was, well, I'll skip to the chickadee card. And the chickadee has different songs for summer and winter. Chickadee, dee, 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 or else Phoebe, Phoebe. And so they're kind of saying you might have two different ways of trying to connect depending on how you feel, whether you're in a flare-up point and a brain fog point and not. And it's like, oh, okay, now I can't, it's not going to work the way it does when I'm feeling clear of these symptoms. So now I can look for synchronicities or ask for the things to come in dreams or things that are not quite so dependent on the focus. And again, I also got a reminder that I had to sit down and eat some wild rice today before coming on to clear out my mind, because I wasn't really clear. So sometimes, just test to see if even just eating something a little more substantial, rather than just fruit and yogurt, which is what I'd had earlier today, that wasn't that wasn't helping. So try some things out and see what works for you. But let me see if there's anything else about this. They're showing me, yeah, they're showing me, like when little kids in kindergarten, they give them those rhythm sticks. They're big, blocky things. They still make noise and you can still play along to a song, but it's not like playing the flute or something. It takes a lot more dexterity and everything. So you'll need the tools that are appropriate for the way you're feeling at the time. You can still make music. It's just finding the right way to access it. Anyhow, I hope that was helpful, and we wish you a quick journey through this particular flare. Oh, and Lisa said yes. She works with crystals and have a selenite ball. Cool. All right. Thank you very much for that question. And Just Visiting has asked, if you have time, what is my soul's mission for this new chapter of my life? And after that, let's do okay, we already did that. Let's do Edward Kenneth, and Blue Lagoon. Edward K, and let us know. And I think that might take us through the hour. Edward and Blue Lagoon, let us know if you're still here while we read Just Visiting.
So when I asked what your soul's mission is for this next chapter of your life, Just Visiting, I heard them say that this is when the fun starts, that you have no more restrictions, no more responsibilities, that you can just run wild and, almost cover all the bases and let your hair down and to, enjoy yourself. There's no more lines that you can't color outside of, and they're just saying that it's your creative and you're the driver on the direction in the direction that you go, and they only ask that you try each opportunity that presents itself. Give it a try, and you never know unless you try. So, and it's also to sort of loosen up those inhibitions that you may have developed through, the first 2 quarters of your life there. And it's your time. It's your time to flourish. It's your time to grow. It's your time to, and you really will. I do. I do see you having experiences and aha moments and really profound lessons that are just magical, really magical. But it's all about you. It's all about having fun, and it's all about letting go of the rules and the inhibitions, like just go for it.
Yeah. Yes, that was wonderful, Jean, because that's very almost exactly what I got, which was they said really loud, make it your own. And then they kind of backed up and said, all the rules in life now. You know how to operate the body. You know how to operate spiritually. You know how to do all the operations of stuff that you have to do. Now make it your own. Make it your own. And they also let me know that they will light it up. When you find the thing that you want to do next, whether it's develop a new spiritual thing or you're pursuing a new hobby or whatever, when you get the right one, they're going to light it up for you. And then they're going to put many more new ideas in your mind to allow you to know how you should keep going on this. But definitely they're saying, make it your own now. They're experienced enough that you get to make it your own. What do you have?
What I have is a trumpet player. And it looks like we're in the, kind of like in the you know, when you're seeing things in the tarot cards, you look like you're playing the trumpet and there's a big flag coming down from it and you're heralding the arrival of a knight that's walking in or riding in. And I noticed that it's like, you know, usually the herald trumpets are really, really long, you know, but this one isn't, you know, it's not like it's pretty long, but not really, really long. So there's room for growth, but you're heralding in this new season, and I'm seeing the knight riding in, and it looks like somebody straight out of the tarot deck, and you're playing the horn and everything, da 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 da, and here he comes, but he's completely covered up. You can't see, you know, the helmet's on, the thing is down. It's a little scary. But he's on a white horse, and then you're down and holding the horse while he dismounts, and he takes off his helmet, and it's just a nice looking young man in there. So it's sort of like you're heralding in this new spiritual period of spiritual growth, and it can be kind of scary and kind of intimidating when all of a sudden you start hearing things or seeing things or whatever. But when you open it up and take the next step and trust that everything's going to be okay, it's just, you know, the spirit guides and your departed loved ones and everything, they're just these nice people in there who want to help you. So it's when you'd go that one further step in and see, oh, they're really nice. They're, you know, I don't have to be afraid of this or have trepidation. Everything's cool. And then so at the end, you're back to playing your horn, and it's the big long herald trumpet. So there's this period of growth throughout. I'm sorry that I'm going on and on about this little story about what's happening to you. But it was, that's what I saw. So I hope that that's helpful for you just visiting. Let's see. And okay, now I have to turn back. And I think it is Edward Kenneth. And yes, we do just kind of pick things at random. I like to do some from the early people and some from the later people and some from the middle. So there's no rhyme nor reason, really. Edward Kenneth said, great energy after the black moon. Do my spirit guides have guidance on energy focus on my current life path? Let's see. Yeah, lots of possibilities.
It just might be my spirit guides, but I'm just go back to the basics. Make sure you have the basics. And that means like chakra and auric field, energy centers, energy frequencies, sound and vibration, all of these basics that, and they also want you to focus on bringing that heavenly vibration frequency to earth. Embody these things. Don't stay in the astral like Nancy all the time. No, I'm kidding, Nancy. No, just it's embody and walk in that vibration and frequency. But yeah, and it's almost like lighten up your chakra centers and your auric field and really generate that frequency and energy. But it could be my spirit guides because they always tell me go back to basics, but that's what I hear.
So, Edward, I saw you on my stage walking, and you're walking to the right, which again for me is the future. So you're walking the correct direction. However, you're walking with your eyes closed. You have like this little pad over your eyes, and so you're walking, and you're trusting your guides to kind of guide you a little bit, and you're walking, but they're saying that this isn't the best way to do it. So it's good that you're trusting them, very good, but they are saying that they would like to remove that, and they kept pointing to your temple, like that they're going to point to your temple. And as I kind of asked, like, what do you mean by this? And they're saying, we want him to look with new eyes. And then they in my vision peeled the kind of cotton padding that was over your eyes, and then you looked out and you're like, oh, that's cool. oh, look at that. So the reality is this new vibration to see things, is they just want you to look at everything with new eyes. So maybe a good plan is to look at the same things that are happening in your life, but try to imagine it from somebody else's point of view. Like, let's let's say somebody does something mean to you at work or says something that kind of annoys you, then try to pretend how they're seeing it and see if you can see it from a different point of view. Or try to meld with your higher self and just try to see it in a different view. Maybe it's a learning curve that you need to learn and you'll get to see more about it. But they're just saying try to look at everything with new eyes. Um, I also want to tell you, in case it feels like I'm saying so much work here, it feels really good though. It feels like it's fresh, like they're refreshing you with this new look, this new way of looking at things. So go ahead, go with that.
That sounds great. Edward, when I tuned in, the first thing I saw was, I didn't even have to draw cards, a brown pelican. Brown pelicans are known for really trusting. They fly up high and they see the fish down below and they just go absolutely straight down into the water, and they're big birds, and there's a big splash when they hit the water going after their prey. There's no question about it. They don't fly low and look. They see them and they go after it. It's a level of commitment and certitude and putting instinct into action. It is for the birds. So it's I think it is a message to trust and to put your beliefs into action, and then you'll get what you want. Because it's also, just like when we're living in this dimension and kind of tapping into the other, it's like the birds living in the air and then going beneath water and being able to see the fish and get what you need down there too. So trust that you can do it, and that's the first big thing. And then, so to trust, to focus, to dive in, and then to kind of act as if, sort of what Terry was saying too. What if I could really do this? Or what would it be like if this thing that happened to me that doesn't look really positive, actually, what's the lesson in it? I know this is happening in my life, so what's the reason behind it? I was having a series of things just kind of going bad. A retaining wall fell down and almost fell on top of me. And I thought, okay, what's the lesson here other than I have to get that wall fixed? And it was, you need to shore things up. And before taking this trip, I needed to get some other things in order. So it's like sometimes something that seems suboptimal happens to make you see the bigger picture. So maybe there's some of that in there for you too. And so, okay, so I acted as if that was the message, and I got a bunch of other things kind of in order and shored up. So I don't know if anything bad would have happened if I had failed to do it before the trip, but nothing bad happened when I was on the trip. So that was something that maybe they wanted to pass on to you. But thank you very much. I hope that those things were helpful. And next up is Blue Lagoon. And I think that will be our last question for today. Blue Lagoon would just like a message from the spirit world.
I'm not sure if she's still here.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just didn't see her. I just sent her a message to say hello. Blue Lagoon, if you're just listening, would you please say hello? Sometimes they're not looking at the chat if I put a message in.
Okay.
So if you're still here, just put an emoji or a letter. Just let us know you're here.
Oh, and thank you, Kenneth. That's very kind of you. He's dusted off the Reiki manuals to cover the basics. I appreciate your guidance and others to relearn the spiritual path. Fabulous. Well, let's see. Who else do we know is here?
She may have fallen asleep. I saw somebody say that they were from somewhere half across the world. I don't know what they said they were.
Okay, let's see. Venus, I know that you're here and you had a question. All right, let's try Venus instead. May I have a message for my guides, please? And this will be our last one. And she said she's in that low energy now, losing things and people. I know it will cause growth in the long run. You're right.
I'm getting to watch your intake as far as your diet and make sure you're getting hydration, drinking water, but drinking maybe like electrolytes. There's something about being hydrated enough. I'm not sure if you drink tea because tea is a diuretic. Something about your fluid intake and just your nutritional intake. And it's almost like you, if you don't mind me saying, I feel like you may want to pacify yourself because of the difficulty you are experiencing, which I understand. And sometimes we want to just have some ice cream because it feels so good and it tastes so good. But really, it irritates you and it makes you swell and all these other things and hurts your stomach. I'm not saying that ice cream does that. I'm just saying, like, if you were to do one thing, it would cause another, which then reduces your energy even further. So they want you to make sure that you're being kind to yourself and choosing the right types of foods and making sure that you are hydrated. And especially like in the morning, I don't know, um, drinking maybe even lemon water would be really good. Um, And are you a coffee drinker? If you're a coffee drinker, you know what I've just been doing lately, which sounds horrible, but I've been putting salt, like like that pink salt, Himalayan pink salt in my coffee. And it tastes really good. It like heightens the flavor and you're actually getting electrolytes because she eats ice cream nearly every night. That's too much, Venus. I love it. Look, I know I love it, and I know you need to pacify yourself, but really and dairy, you guys, is getting worse. It just, unless it's organic, clean, and the farm that made it is right down the road from you. I mean, it's really, I know that it feels good when you're eating it and you really need to pacify yourself, but I think it may be adverse reactions. It may even, the donut. Oh no. Once in a while, ladies, and I know it's really hard because we all do that. We all just want to pacify, which I understand, and everything in moderation. But I just felt that you're doing better emotionally, Venus, but physically you're sort of counterproductive to your efforts. Yeah, that's what I have.
Wow. So Venus, they showed me you walking around with your head in the clouds. Like it almost looks like the Rider-Waite tarot deck with somebody walking with you can't see their head, they're in the clouds. And so I had to kind of lean into that a little bit. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? So here's the thing. If your head is in the clouds a lot and it's causing you not to finish the things you want to finish, then you need to work on it that way. But they're also letting me know that I should tell you that daydreaming is a form of dream. It is a form of connection. It can be used for manifestation. It can be used for prayer. There's a lot of different things you can do. If your head is in the clouds and you're always daydreaming, then what would be important when it's in the good side of daydreaming is to control your thoughts a little bit. Don't daydream about somebody being punished for something. Try to control what you daydream about so that it's more like manifestation. Oh, I would love to be healthy and this is what it would be like. I could do this. I could do that. Daydream about what your life would be like if you were in this new healthy position. So basically, you're going to have to just kind of diagnose this for yourself. Is your head in the clouds because you're wasting time, or is the head in the clouds because you are actually connecting, but that you need to connect on maybe a more positive level? Okay.
And she said, I feel my mom is going to pass soon. And so she's stuck on that.
No. Well, you know what? Go ahead and use daydreaming for that too. Imagine that when your mom passes, that she's going to be joining you in that cloud, that she's going to have a lovely time on the other side, that, it can be for good too, even though you're going to miss her terribly. But just, there's ways to use that for daydreaming too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I like the salt idea. I have some, and notice I feel better when I have a little salt every day. So that's good. Wonderful. So, whoops, I keep going back. Sorry about this, folks. To Venus. There we go. So, Venus, when I tuned into you, I saw like a little red rubber ball, like the kind you get when you play jacks, just that little big. And it was on a stick, and then it looked like a sparkler. There was all this energy coming off of it. And I think it wasn't like a regular sparkler that's, long and skinny. It started with this ball. And I think this is the idea of there's just a lot of energy around you. You're putting off a lot of energy is coming in. And so you need to kind of protect yourself. And as Jean was saying, to eat good things and to take care of yourself, because this is a period of life when there's a lot is being asked of you. A lot is happening. It's one of these interesting times of life. So do take as much care of your health as you can, and both physically and mentally, spiritually, like turning the worry into, I'll miss you a lot, Mom, but let's practice now how we can communicate someday when you're on the other side, that type of thing. And when I drew cards, I got the Queen of Cups, which is all about emotional connection and intuition. I got the Kingfisher, which I love, which, the one who was sent out from Noah's Ark and came back at sunset. So they have the blue of the sky and the orange belt of the sunset on them. So it's like a change, but good things it pretty much means good things and prosperity are coming your way. And then I don't know if I've ever got this card before in all these years I've been using it. It's the Guardian Angel card that just says ask for support. So this, during challenging times, just call them all in and say, I know that you're always here, but I really could use some support and guidance clearly at this time for me and my family and all the circumstances you're going through. But we wish you the very best on this part of your journey. And you're very, very welcome. Oh, Blue Lagoon, I'm sorry. We will get you next time. But I'm afraid that is where we're going to have to leave it today. Jean, where are you going to be appearing next? Oops, I can't hear you. I think
Sorry, I was.
That's okay.
It is Friday. I have Mark and Gerald will be with me on Friday morning, and then I'll be on with Terri Suzuki for some Friday fun, you guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun.
Well, you heard it. That's where I'm going to be next too. Friday fun with Jean.
And I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be popping up next, so just stay tuned. But thank you all for coming. Thank you, Jean and Terri, and to everybody for listening, both now and anybody who might see this in the future on any of our channels. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Mwah. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.